Hey everyone, JC the HVAC veteran, and we just got the news for the new Enbridge Rebate Program that has hit Ontario. Today was when they said they were going to make the announcement and give a little bit more clarity to what this program was, because there's a bit of a misunderstanding on exactly what the rebates were. So I'm here to give you a step-by-step description of exactly what the rebate program is and what you need to do. So I'm going to be talking mostly about heat pumps because that's what my field is. And that's going to be the main rebate that seems to be the most popular for this program. So there are a few changes that has happened, and they are actually for the better, but the actual dollar amounts are pretty much the same. So there's no difference between the previous rebate that was just being offered compared to what it is now. So if you are actually already in the rebate program and you're in the process of getting equipment, such as heat pumps, windows, whatever the case is, you can just continue with that rebate program. Just make sure that you understand that you have, I think it's 180 days to get it all done from January 28th, if I'm not mistaken. You must wait until the 28th in order to qualify for this program. If you get anything installed before then, it will not qualify for the program. So when it comes to heat pumps, the program is going to be offering up to $2,000 on heat pumps. You will see $7,500 advertised maybe, but the whole rebate program is up to $5,000. The only reason they're mentioning $7,500 sometimes. You won't hear it often because it's more or less for areas that are outside of the GTA, which are heating their homes completely with electrical, like an electric furnace. And you don't really want that. That's going to be a lot more expensive to run than a gas furnace. So don't worry about getting sucked into any advertisements you see at $7,500 for these rebates, okay? Focus on the $5,000 max, and that $5,000 equates to up to $2,000 for heat pumps. And the way that works is you are entitled to $500 per ton. So if your house needs a 2-ton unit, you're going to multiply the 500 times 2, you're going to get $1,000. If you need a 3-ton, you're going to get $1,500. A 4-ton, you'll get the full $2,000. But if you need a 5-ton, it's capped at $2,000. So you still get the $2,000. This program is also only for Enbridge gas customers. So if you are on propane, oil, or anything like that, you're not going to qualify for this program. If you have an existing heat pump and you want to replace it with a new heat pump, it will not qualify for this rebate program as well. You must be replacing an existing air conditioner with a heat pump in order to qualify for this program. If you want a rental, it will not qualify. So for any of those companies that are selling furnaces, you will qualify if you're going to pay by credit card or you're going to be paying by financing, anything like that. But if you're wanting to rent for whatever reason, then you will not qualify for this program. Now, the program did say, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, that it sounded like it was going to be a 30%, across the board. But as I'm mentioning today and in my previous video, that was not the case. It's just kind of one of those things what they meant to say. You have the opportunity to save up to 30%. So saving 30% and up to 30% are two different things. But as for the dollar amounts of what people will be getting back for the rebates, there's really no change that I see between this program and the one that is being replaced. The other thing they mentioned in the news conference is that it sounded like this thing was going to be going on for 12 years. Like they have like all this massive amount of money and everything. Well, they've changed that as well. And it's basically until it runs out. So like all the other rebate programs that have happened up until now, when the money runs out, the problem with that is you never know. And they just basically don't give you any warning, and it's announced on the news and it's over. So, it's a little bit unfair, but that's just the way it is. So that being said, make sure if this is something that you want to do, go ahead and get it done. Don't take the chance, because anything can happen and this program can come to an end. They have forecasted in their news conference, they said for 2025, people should have no problem. And that's all they said. They're not giving it a long forecast anymore. As for the rebates themselves, they're going to be mailed out as previously done with other rebate programs. And you're going to get a check in the mail. Usually it's a few months after the installation has been completed. Make sure whatever contractor you decide you want to use, that they're involved in this program. So today it was announced that they need to submit the applications. So we're going to be on that. We're already basically pre-approved because we are already with Enbridge. But, a lot of other contractors, they got to go through this whole approval process. So basically that's what the program is. Now let's talk about some of the changes compared to the previous program, because this is where I'm actually very happy, because it has posed a problem in the previous program where customers had to get more than one item. So in order to qualify, you'd have to get a heat pump, and then you have to do something else, such as windows and doors or attic insulation or air sealing or something like that. And it was generally costing customers a lot of extra money in order to do that. And I even had some customers that had already had all the stuff on the list basically done, except for a heat pump. So they couldn't get anything else done. So they really couldn't qualify. The other thing that you don't need to do, which is really, really good now, is you don't need an audit. The previous rebates, it was a big hassle to have audits done. And in the previous one, not the one that this is replacing, but the one before, we had a nightmare with that, the whole audit process, because it was such a popular program that all the auditors got extremely busy. They got way, way behind. And then what that did is it caused a backlog, and we couldn't do any installations until they got their first inspections done. And what that did was it caused us delays, but more importantly, when they actually stopped the program and announced it on the 6 o'clock news or whatever, all those people that didn't have the audits done, they lost out. And our company, as well as all other HVAC companies, had to give those customers back their money, and they lost out on all those rebates. So this is a really, really good improvement, in my opinion. Not necessarily great for the home inspectors that are generally the ones doing the inspections, but it's very good for our industry, and we'll be able to really streamline this a lot quicker. However, there is a caveat to it. You still need to apply. So the customers will need to send in a very basic application. It takes about 3 days, and you cannot get your equipment installed until that application is approved. Once it's approved, then you can go ahead and do the installation. Now, there is one way that you can get around that, and that's if you have no heat. So let's say I'm a technician. I go out and I diagnose your furnace, and basically you have no heat and you want to get a new furnace. Well, you can't wait 3 days without heat, right? And if we can get the installation done the same day or the next day, you're going to want that done, and you're not going to want to lose out on these rebates. So that being said, we can put an application in to get you a quick installation. It is a case by case basis, but ideally, I don't think there's going to be a problem with getting someone that has no heat approved for getting this rebate right away, getting an installation. The most important thing is to make sure that the pictures are taken before the installation is actually done. So while your old furnace is in place and everything, you need to take a picture of it, or we need to, that your contractor takes a picture of it, takes a picture of the rating plate, all that stuff. Then we can remove the furnace, and then we take new pictures of the new furnace and the new rating plate, and that's going to be all submitted for your rebate. And finally, the actual heat pumps have to be on the list, it's called a NRCan list. And on that NRCan list, you'll get a list of the heat pumps that qualify. And there's not a lot of them, there's many heat pumps that don't qualify. So usually it's the cold climate heat pumps that qualify for this rebate. So just keep that in mind. We've been doing it for so long, so we have a list of we know exactly which ones are qualifiable for this rebate program. So it's not an issue, but sometimes you might want to just check depending on which contractor you're going to be using. And so that's it. So that's to sum it up. So I hope this has been informative. It's got some good news. I was a little disappointed that it's not a 30% discount off everything, but it does make it easier when you don't have to worry about getting your home audited for this program. It makes it a lot easier, streamlines it, makes it a little bit quicker for everybody. And the rebates are still what they are. They're not going down. So, which in the future they eventually will. That's the way rebates happen. They always seem to go down, down, down. So I'm glad that everything was able to stay the way they are at this point. So that's it, everyone. I'm JC, the HVAC veteran, and if you want to reach out to me directly, you can direct message me at jc@thehvacveteran.com. Until my next video, I'll see you later.